What's up guys, Nolan here, and today I'm explaining a theory why wiping now would be a good thing for Streets later this year. I also have some info that might be news to some people, so hopefully it helps. So to start off, in terms of information that I would like to get out there, we have the reasoning for not having Streets yet, which I just did a video on that not too long ago. However, when I saw so many weird replies and just general misinformation around the internet, I decided to do a poll on Twitter. Of course, this isn't the entire community, but I think it works as a good test sample. If there's any statistics nerds out there, let me know what I could do differently next time if you have some feedback. Now, thankfully for at least my followers on Twitter, the majority of you know the real reason, which is they need new tech and tools coming with this next patch in order to have it run well enough for them to feel comfortable releasing it. Streets is a huge and intricate location, so BSG built up infrastructure in-game to hopefully allow most of us to run it well, while some may have some issues and others may run into some serious problems. But it is clear that BSG want it to at least be stable for the vast majority of the community, otherwise they wouldn't have scrapped their first attempt of it and they wouldn't be doing what they're doing now. Moving on to the other replies here, it is a bit concerning to see that a combined 29.6%, aka almost 30%, aka almost a full third of the people that answered this poll were completely wrong. Then a close second was at least on the right track. I didn't expect so many people to have no idea at all. BSG are currently working on the first, second, third, and more parts of Streets in every aspect. Just because we were waiting on the tech doesn't mean that the art teams aren't working to get the other parts of Streets coming later on up to the correct standards to apply to the new tech. So yeah, they're working on it. For that other answer, there's no beating around the bush here, it's just false, because according to Nikita, BSG have had a separate team working on Arena, so it did not take a single dev away from Streets. For those that want to play devil's advocate, there is always a possibility that while the engineers or tech artists or whoever was working on Streets to get it to a stable spot were doing that, some of the art team might have made up some assets for Arena. I could totally buy that, especially since the timelines would line up for the development of Arena, but in no way does that mean that Streets isn't ready yet because of that, since they would have been working on later parts of Streets and not the first iteration, which we'll see later this year. Then last but not least, we have the people that were sort of at least on the right track with it being too big of a map. Technically, you're not wrong, because they do need new tech and tools in order to be comfortable with its release, because it is a very large map. However, they chopped Streets up into pieces for a reason, and that's so they can manage the development and release of each part accordingly. So I'm gonna kind of accept that answer. In conclusion on that, we are waiting on Streets because BSG wanted to run well, so they need better tech to support it, which is coming this patch. Now, speaking of that tech that is coming this patch, I wanted to throw out a couple possibilities here. One being the more realistic one, which is wiping now without Streets is actually better for us in order to enjoy Streets. Now what will happen is there will be a few months of proper full community testing of the new tech that BSG needed for Streets, in the hopes that we find a lot of bugs or issues with it so that they can work on it before its release. That way it will allow for a smoother transition into Streets release. The second part is our preparation, as Streets should have some pretty badass enemies lurking around it. We're talking crazy new bosses, probably some new NPCs in there, and vehicles at least, with possibly a few extra surprises in there. So with this setup, now when the day comes, at least most of us should be in a position to afford the gear and properly contest with whatever we might find waiting for us on Streets. Now, on the crazier side of things, this is complete speculation here, that of course rolls into the Sons of Soon side of things. We have the theory that Streets is coming this patch as a complete surprise. All of the original theories, apart from dates and times that we talked about months ago, still apply here, and with all of the internal testing that BSG does, it certainly is not impossible for them to have figured out that the tech works, which puts them in a position to release Streets as a complete surprise, along with a wipe, which they've been saying for actually years now was the plan. Not to mention this is patch 13, which Streets being the big thing for patch 13 has also been a part of the plan for years now. Again, that is just some Sons of Soon crazy speculation there, but we don't actually go making shit up. It's all at least somewhat possible and grounded somewhere. So even though this is pretty crazy, it's still just plausible enough to fit the criteria. Let me know what you guys think. No new info on anything yet, but we'll see if we get a new event this weekend. If we don't, then I'm actually going to be a little bit worried, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Until then though, as always, I will keep an eye out for anything new and let you guys know more once I do. Quick plug here for the Pray for Wipe and Sons of Soon shirts and hoodies. Link below if you like what you see. Thank you guys for the support. But for more Tarkov news and content, follow me on Twitter or check out these playlists here. If you like this video, then you know the drill. Please subscribe. I really appreciate the people who do. If you're looking for people to play with, check out our Discord. Links below if you're interested. Otherwise, I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.